This is a public service announcement brought to you in part by Dark Shadow Films. The Japanese names mentioned in the fanfiction you're about to listen to have been butchered to no end. This is because I, the reader, am not familiar with these Japanese words and am way too lazy to use the internet to find out the proper way they're pronounced. Therefore, I apologize in advance if I pronounce them incorrectly or if you are offended because I mispronounce them. You need to understand that I am an idiot who doesn't use the internet for the purpose of research, but for everything else that is of lesser importance. I thank you for your understanding on this matter. Now back to your regularly scheduled fanfiction reading. Diamond Tiara Likes Anime by Yukito, Part 2. Chapter 4. Diamond Tiara likes cosplaying as characters from anime. The next day, Diamond Tiara stopped by Sweetie Belle's house, along with Rarity, to ask for her help. When they explained that the adults had a problem with them watching anime and that they were going to come around to have a talk with them, Rarity was at first skeptical and sure that there was some kind of misunderstanding. Nonetheless, seeing her sister and her new friend in trouble, Rarity agreed to do whatever she could to help them out. Whilst they waited for Cheerilee and Filthy Rich to stop by, the two fillies tried on a few costumes that Rarity had made based off of the clothes worn by their favorite anime characters. Cosplay, as it was known within the otaku community. They also discussed the possibility of attending MainCon together, but Rarity had said that decision would be up to their parents. "What do you think, Diamond?" Rarity asked, as Diamond looked herself over in the mirror. "It isn't too loose, is it? I added a little to your measurements to take into account your body growing in the coming years, but I fear I may have made it a little too big." "It's fine," Diamond Tiara said, smiling as she spun around to get a good look at her costume. She was wearing the pink dress that was worn by Sakura in the Mahou Shoujo Sakura-chan opening song, complete with angel wings and a staff. Sweetie Belle stood next to her, trying on her own costume. She was wearing a tight-fitting black vest and black trousers, along with a white bandage on her left foreleg and a red bandage on her right foreleg. The purple wig was still a work in progress, but so far, her dark-form DNA alicorn cosplay was looking pretty good. "I just hope Daddy doesn't get too mad when he comes over," Diamond said, frowning as she took a seat on Sweetie Belle's bed. "Don't you worry about a thing," Rarity said in a reassuring tone. "I'll have a word with your parents and Miss Cheerilee, and we'll have this whole thing sorted out by the end of the day." A knock on the house's front door brought the room to silence, and Rarity poked her head out the door to see who it was. Her father, Magnum Bell, opened the front door to find Cheerilee and Filthy Rich standing there, asking if they could come in to talk. "They're here," Diamond said nervously. "You two just wait up here. I'll go and have a word with them." The two fillies nodded and watched Rarity leave the room. Once she was gone, Sweetie Belle, noticing Diamond Tiara's lowered spirits, tried to lighten the mood by suggesting they watch some of her new DVDs. In the living room, Filthy Rich, Cheerilee, Rarity, and Magnum Bell all sat down together. Rarity had made some tea for every pony and brought it in, but there was far too much tension in the air for any pony to have a drink. "Mr. Bell, you're aware of the situation, are you not?" Filthy Rich asked, to which he received a nod from the other pony. "Miss Cheerilee and I spoke over the phone prior to your coming here today. I'm well aware of our daughter's new interests." He turned his gaze towards Rarity. "You already knew, didn't you?" Rarity nodded. "Well, yes, but I—" "You knew and didn't tell any pony?" Filthy Rich asked, a bit more spite in his voice than perhaps he intended. Cheerilee tried to calm him down. Now, Mr. Rich, I'm sure Miss Rarity had her reasons." "Just Rarity," Rarity said, smiling at the teacher. "And if I may be honest, I never really saw how it was necessary to tell any pony." "How can you think it wasn't necessary?" Filthy Rich asked, his volume rising. "Diamond Tiara aside, Sweetie Belle is your sister for pony's sake. How could you be okay with this?" Rarity looked at him with a mix of shock and disapproval. She looked over to her father and was positively surprised to find him agreeing with Filthy Rich. She couldn't believe it. Her father, The kind, caring, understanding stallion who had raised her to be the fine lady she was today was actually agreeing with this intolerant attitude towards a couple of fillies liking anime.
"What should it matter, though?" she asked. "After all, it makes them so happy, and they've been getting along so well ever since they discovered this common interest within each other."
Cheerilee folded her forelegs and creased her brow.
"It's true that they've been getting along a lot better recently than they used to, though the same can't be said for Diamond and the other Crusaders. And Diamond does seem to be a lot happier nowadays, but you see, there's no need to get in the way of something that makes them so happy."
"But it's not right!" Filthy Rich shouted. "It's just not right for fillies their age to be doing that kind of stuff."
"Honestly, what a closed-minded view! Who says anime can't appeal to an older audience?"
Rarity thought to herself.
"Their ages shouldn't matter," she argued. "All that matters is that they have fun together, that they've become such good friends, that they've found something they can enjoy so passionately."
"Do you even hear yourself?" Cheerilee pleaded for Filthy Rich to calm down. The disgruntled stallion picked up his tea and took a long drink of it. Magnum cleared his throat to gain the group's attention.
"Well, if it were just the videos, I wouldn't be so passionately against it. After all, that's something we could talk to them about in a calm, civil manner."
He took a drink from his own cup and then shifted his gaze towards Rarity.
"But I'm given to understand that they also do this RP thing, where they act out scenes that they see. Is that right?" "Yes, that's where I have to draw the line," Magnum interrupted. "It isn't right, no matter how you look at it, for those two fillies to be doing stuff like that."
Rarity was shocked to hear such things coming from her father's mouth, and her rage was starting to build up.
"Deep breaths, Rarity. Deep, soothing breaths."
Rarity regained her composure and focused her attention on her father. She would protect her sister and her sister's friend, no matter what.
"Father, if you're talking about age being an issue, then what about me?"
Magnum gave her a questioning look.
"What do you mean? You're—"
Before her father could finish, Rarity cut in.
"I've also watched those videos you seem to have such a problem with. Sweetie Belle and I often watch them together."
A loud gasp came from the other three, surprising Rarity yet again. Were the ponies in her town really so intolerant? How could she not have noticed before? "You? What about Diamond?" Filthy Rich asked. "Have you been watching them with my Diamond?" Rarity looked at him with a determined look on her face and nodded.
"Yes, I have, though not as much. I usually watch them with Sweetie Belle because it brings us closer together as sisters."
She turned back to Magnum.
"And, to that end, I've also joined my sister and her new friend in their RP games."
The three adults stared at her with their eyes and mouths wide open. They couldn't believe what they were hearing at all. And worst of all, she didn't even seem guilty about it. She was saying it with such pride in her voice.
"Rarity,"
Magnum said, falling back into his seat in shock.
"How could you?"
Rarity couldn't believe how strong the reaction was that she got. So what if she liked to join her sister in a harmless game of pretend? Why should it matter that she joined her sister in watching a show about a cute little filly who uses magic to save the world? And that she even enjoyed it a little too.
"Father, maybe you don't approve of this because you don't understand," she suggested. "Maybe if you watched their videos yourself, you would see that there was nothing wrong with it." "You can't be serious," Cheerilee said, looking at the unicorn with a mix of horror and disgust. "I am," she said. "And maybe if you saw how happy it makes them, and how happy they are when they play together, you would see things differently."
"That's enough!" Filthy Rich shouted, raising his hooves and glaring down at Rarity with a look of absolute rage. "You! I can't believe I let such a horrible pony get near my little girl. How could you just sit there and admit everything that you just did, as if there was nothing wrong with it? And how the hell can you suggest we watch our daughters do such immoral stuff together, especially when they're underage?" Rarity is about to shout back, but something about his last sentence struck her.
Beg pardon? What do you mean, underage?
What the hell do you think I mean?
Please, calm down,
Cheerilee shouted, managing to convince Filthy Rich to sit back down calmly. She turned her attention to Rarity.
It doesn't matter how happy it makes them. Ponies shouldn't watch those videos or perform such actions until they're much older.
Rarity stared at the other ponies in utter silence. They were all glaring at her, daring her to make her next argument.
Something's definitely not right here,
she thought to herself. Rarity turned to Cheerilee and asked,
Just so we're clear, we are talking about their love for anime, right? Return to your true form, Clover Card!
The adults watched as an intense light flashed on the screen, and before their eyes, the image of a beautiful mare dressed in a feudal attire was transformed into a card. The filly and colt on screen started to celebrate. The filly hugged the colt, and then they both backed away, blushing intensely. Diamond Tiara and Sweetie Belle were completely absorbed in the scene on the monitor, whereas the adults were all staring in complete bewilderment. You mean, this is what they've been doing? Filthy Rich asked, to which Rarity, who looked very unamused, nodded her head.
And here we thought they were...
Cheerilee didn't even finish her thought. She, along with the other two parents, lowered her head in shame, her face turning as red as the anime filly's was just moments ago.
So, this was all some big misunderstanding?
Magnum asked.
It would seem so,
Rarity said, still glaring at the three adults. Filthy Rich cleared his throat and rose to his hooves. It seems I owe you an apology, Miss Rarity. Filthy Rich extended his hoof, and Rarity stared at it for a moment, before reaching forward and shaking it.
Apology accepted,
she said. Right. Well, Filthy Rich said, adjusting his necktie as he looked over at his daughter, who was too absorbed in her show to notice what was going on behind her. I would appreciate it if we were to never speak of this again. Agreed?
Agreed,
the other two adults said, also getting up and preparing to leave.
So, Daddy really has no problem with me liking anime?
Diamond Tiara asked, a little skeptical of the news that Rarity had given her.
Isn't that great, Diamond?
Sweetie Belle asked.
Now you don't have to hide it anymore. No,
Diamond's mind conjured up images of her friend Silver Spoon, laughing at her and calling her names like pathetic or dweeb. She shook the thoughts away for the time being and turned her attention back to Rarity.
So, what did they think we were doing? You said it was a misunderstanding.
Rarity mentally cursed herself for letting that slip, but luckily her mind was working fast today.
Well, more importantly than that, your fathers have given the okay for you two to go to MainCon, provided I go with you, of course.
The two fillies' faces lit up, and they both let out ecstatic cheers as they bumped hooves together.
Yes!
Sweetie Belle cheered.
This is going to be great! Our first con ever! We need to start getting ready! This is awesome,
Diamond Tiara said.
And I wouldn't be able to go if it wasn't for you two. Thank you so much.
Rarity and Sweetie Belle both smiled, and the two fillies spent the rest of the afternoon planning for their first ever convention next month. Silver Princess.
You'll be away for the whole weekend? What, is it a family outing?
Queen Tiara.
Something like that. Daddy wants me to visit my relatives in Manhattan. I'd invite you, but it's family only, so...
Silver Princess.
That's cool. I think I'll be able to manage one weekend without you.
Queen Tiara.
I'd better sign off now. Daddy doesn't like me staying up so late. See you in school tomorrow.
Silver Princess.
Yeah, see you.
Diamond Tiara shut off her computer and stretched her hooves out.
It would be nice if Silver Spoon could come too. But if she found out I like anime...
Diamond sighed and lazily walked over to her bed. She fell down on top of it and slowly crawled inside the covers, letting a loud yawn escape as she got comfortable.
It'll be fine, just as long as she doesn't find out.
Chapter 5. Diamond Tiara likes conventions for anime. Diamond Tiara's eyes grew heavy as she stared down at her exercise book, flipping through the pages to check over her answers to make sure that they were right. After making a few adjustments here and there, and making a few doodles of cat ponies and tiaras on the side of her page, she was satisfied with her work and put down her pen whilst she waited for the rest of the class to end. "Snips," Cheerilee said at the back of the class, "about this homework you handed in."
Is there a problem, Miss Cheerilee?
Snips asked, obviously nervous by the tone of his voice.
How to put this delicately? Can you stay after class so we can discuss it? It's just not terribly up to standard.
Snips groaned, and Cheerilee made her way back to the front of the class. Diamond Tiara heard Snips and Snails whispering to each other behind her, and could vaguely make out Snails telling Snips that he shouldn't have done his homework at literally the last minute. Diamond Tiara smirked to herself and whispered,
Mata Dane. What was that?
Silver Spoon asked, causing Diamond to snap to attention and turn to her friend.
I said that math is boring. Totally.
Diamond Tiara sighed in relief that she managed to get out of that just fine.
I've got to be more careful with that. I keep quoting anime out loud, and I'm going to get caught. You're leaving tonight, aren't you?
Silver Spoon asked. Diamond Tiara nodded.
You want to come over to my house before you leave?
Diamond Tiara shifted her eyes to look over at Sweetie Belle, who was still hard at work, and looked to be having trouble, and then back at Silver Spoon. She told Sweetie Belle she would meet her at Carousel Boutique after she had packed today, so that they could go over their convention plans one last time together. Silver Spoon turned to her book and started to scribble in the corner of the page with her pen.
We don't hang out that much anymore,
she said, bringing a frown to Diamond's face.
What gives? Are you losing interest in me? Of course not,
Diamond said, leaning over and placing a hoof on Silver Spoon's shoulder.
I've been just going through some things lately, that's all. What kind of things? Family things?
Silver Spoon didn't seem to be buying it.
Just forget it,
Silver Spoon said, leaning her head onto her table and turning her face away from Diamond Tiara. Diamond was about to say something, but Cheerilee caught the two talking and reminded them that they were to work in silence. Letting out a heavy sigh, Diamond Tiara leaned down on her own table, her excitement for the coming weekend suddenly slipping away. Sweetie Belle noticed Diamond Tiara's strange behavior ever since she arrived at Carousel Boutique, but when she asked her about it, Diamond denied anything being wrong. Sweetie wasn't sure what else she could do, so she simply left it for now, hoping that she would feel better after a few episodes of Heat Pony J. She did not. She then suggested a game of Pony-O, and that did little to raise Diamond's spirits either. It probably didn't help that Sweetie Belle went all out and completely thrashed Diamond Tiara. A Hayblade match, a new episode of Pony Puff Phillies Z, and even the first Ponymon movie failed to lift Diamond's spirits, and when the two fillies boarded the train to Manhattan, along with Rarity, Sweetie Belle finally decided to ask what was wrong.
It's nothing,
Diamond insisted.
Come on, it's clearly not nothing,
Sweetie Belle said.
Are you worried about being away from home for the weekend?
Diamond Tiara shook her head.
Are you feeling unwell?
Diamond shook her head again.
Ooh, is it that pre-menstrual thingy Miss Cheerilee told us about?
Rarity almost choked on her tea and quickly looked around to see if any pony was listening in. Thankfully, there were no ponies nearby.
Sweetie Belle, that's not the sort of thing you should bring up in a polite conversation. Why not? Miss Cheerilee said it's all natural and nothing to be ashamed of. Even so, it's not that,
Diamond Tiara said, in an annoyed tone, her face red.
it's something else. I just prefer not to talk about it.
Rarity smiled and placed a hoof on Diamond's shoulder.
That's quite all right, darling, she said reassuringly. You don't have to tell us if you don't want to. Just know that we're here for you if you ever decide you need some pony to talk to.
Sweetie Belle nodded and wrapped her forelegs around Diamond Tiara.
Yeah, I don't know how much help I'll be, but I'll always be willing to listen and do whatever I can to help.
Diamond Tiara, despite feeling a little annoyed at having her personal space violated, which she demonstrated by pushing Sweetie Belle away, still smiled and thanked Sweetie Belle and Rarity for their kindness. The two fillies slept through most of the train trip to Manhattan, and when Rarity woke them up after they had arrived, Diamond Tiara was feeling a lot better. She was still down about Silver Spoon, but she decided not to let it ruin her first ever convention.
I'll definitely fix things up with Silver as soon as I get home,
she told herself, as she and Sweetie Belle followed Rarity to the hotel that they would be staying at for the weekend. The first day of the convention finally arrived, and the two very excited little fillies wasted no time getting themselves ready in the morning by eating their breakfasts, taking quick showers, brushing their teeth, getting changed into their costumes, and then packing their lunches and sorting out their bags, making sure that they had everything they needed. Rarity, on the other hoof, wasn't quite as excited as the two fillies were. In fact, being woken up at 7 in the morning, when the convention started at 10 no less, didn't exactly put her in the best of moods, and it took all of her willpower not to snap and start the day off badly for her sister and her sister's friend. By 8:30, Sweetie Belle and Diamond Tiara were already ready to go. Rarity had tried to go back to sleep, but when that proved impossible, she resigned herself to her fate of an early morning and dragged herself around the hotel room to get herself ready. Sweetie Belle hopped through the convention hall excitedly as soon as she entered, looking in awe at all of the costumes she saw, the video game demonstrations on display, and all of the stalls of various merchandise: anime, manga, figurines, video games, card games, cosplay props. It was like a dream come true for the two excited little fillies. "Hey!" one of the convention staff shouted. "No running in the convention hall. Some pony could get hurt."
Terribly sorry, sir,
Rarity said as quickly as she caught up to her sister, with Diamond Tiara alongside of her.
She's just a little excited for her first convention is all.
"I can understand that, but safety must come first, you hear?" Sweetie Belle nodded, and the staff member smiled down at her. "Well, enjoy the rest of the convention, okay?"
I will,
Sweetie Belle said, getting ready to run off again, but stopping when she saw the hard stare from her sister.
Sorry.
The three walked through the hall, stopping at each stall on the way, or rather, each stall that had space for the two fillies to actually take a look at the merchandise, and the two fillies pointing out and identifying as many costumes as they could. As they were passing by a manga stall, Rarity caught sight of a familiar stallion in the crowds. It was hard to recognize him at first with his costume on, but as soon as he was close enough to her, she quickly recognized him as Shining Armor, Twilight Sparkle's older brother. "Rarity?" he asked as he passed by her, looking a little nervous. "What a surprise! I didn't know you were into this stuff." Rarity giggled and waved her hoof dismissively.
Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not against it, but I'm not exactly a fan either.
She motioned her head towards her sister.
I'm here with my sister and her friend.
Shining Armor, now blushing, nodded and leaned forward. "Hey," he whispered. Listen, any chance you don't tell Twilight about this?" Rarity cocked an eyebrow at the strange request.
Why? I hardly think Twilight of all ponies would have a problem with you liking something like this.
Shining pulled back and scratched the back of his head nervously through his long black wig. "Well, it's just that, as a kid, she really liked the old anime shows they used to show. You know, stuff like Draconequus Ball and Sea Pony Melody." Shining shuddered as he took a moment to remember certain times that Twilight, as a filly, would start singing loudly in their room when he was trying to study. And she got teased for it at school. At first, she just denied liking it, but later, she actually grew to hate the stuff and wanted nothing to do with anime at all.
Oh, surely you don't think she's still like that?
Rarity asked. Shining nodded.
Come now, Twilight may be sensitive and may do silly things every now and then, but I'm sure she's over whatever awful things may have happened to her at school when she was just a little filly.
Shining shook his head. You'd think so, but Twilight can be pretty stubborn sometimes. She spent so long trying to convince every pony that she doesn't like anime that now it's become a part of who she is. Rarity couldn't help but disagree with what Shining Armor was saying.
I'm sure Twilight wouldn't mind if she found out you like anime, but if you still insist on me keeping it a secret, then I shall do just that.
Thanks, Rarity, Shining Armor said with a smile.
Yaku Yaku Chiki!
Sweetie Belle shouted, pointing up at Shining Armor.
With this, send ponies Zakara!
Diamond Tiara added excitedly. Shining Armor smiled at the two fillies and waved at them. Hello there! You two enjoying the convention so far? The two nodded, and Sweetie gave a sly grin to Rarity.
So, you found yourself a new, special friend.
Rarity blushed and quickly shook her head.
Sweetie Belle, do you not recognize him?
Sweetie Belle looked at the stallion confusedly, but then immediately recognized him when he removed his wig.
Shining Armor?
That's right, Shining said, placing his wig back on. He turned his attention to Diamond Tiara. And who's this? I don't believe I've met her before.
Diamond Tiara,
Diamond said with a small bow.
Nice to meet you.
Shining placed a hoof on his chin. That name seems familiar. Try as he might, he couldn't quite place his hoof on it. Well, nice to meet you. I have to go and meet up with some pony now, but I hope you three enjoy the rest of the convention.
We will,
Sweetie Belle assured him, with Diamond Tiara nodding in agreement. After he left, Sweetie turned her attention to Rarity.
Hey, Rarity? Yes, Sweetie Belle?
Sweetie Belle picked up a manga that was on Diamond Tiara's back and opened it up.
What are these two colts doing?
She asked as she showed her the inside. Rarity's face immediately turned red as she saw an image of two handsome, very handsome, teenage colts embracing each other in a field of flowers, one of them placing his lips on the other's neck, and the other looking like he was in a state of pure bliss.
That's...
Rarity took the manga from Sweetie Belle and closed it up.
That's not something you need to know about. Not until you're older, at least.
Sweetie Belle tilted her head.
Why?
She asked.
They're just fan ponies, right?
Diamond asked, but Sweetie Belle shook her head.
I told you the previous page showed that it was day. Fan ponies can't go out during the day. What if they're reverse fan ponies?
Sweetie Belle put a hoof on her chin as she considered it, and Rarity decided to use this chance.
Yes, that's right, she said. They're just reverse fan ponies, nothing more.
The two stared at her oddly for a few seconds, but then simply shrugged and decided to move on. Rarity let out a sigh of relief and went to put the manga back on the stall. She stopped just as she was about to place it down, and quickly glanced left and right before facing the stall owner.
Excuse me, but how much is this?
The rest of the convention's first day went rather well for the two fillies. There were a few disappointments here and there, such as not being able to see various special guests due to arriving at the panel late, and having trouble getting to and purchasing some merchandise due to the huge crowds, but all in all, it was a great experience for the two of them, one which neither would forget any time soon. Rarity wouldn't either. She never would have thought that the video games her sister played could be so addicting, and after just one round of Russell the Hedgehog, she had to purchase the game for herself, and the console to play it. and after playing a few more games, she soon found her wallet slowly slimming away at the video game stall. She also managed to strike a deal with a fashion firm during the cosplay masquerade after they found out that she designed Sweetie Belle and Diamond Tiara's costumes. They wanted her to design cosplay outfits for their clients, and they would split the profits 50-50. After the crowds had died down a bit, the three decided to go around the dealer's stalls one more time to visit the stalls that they previously couldn't. In particular, a certain figurine stall really caught Diamond Tiara's attention, as it had figures of some of her most favorite characters. She bought 2 big figures and 4 small ones, all of which Rarity was made to carry, most of which Rarity recognized from the anime that she watched with them. The last one, however, took both her and Sweetie Belle by surprise. It was the figure of a pale pony, covered with blood, with chains and shackles attached to its hooves, and a demonic grin on its face. It sent shivers down Sweetie Belle's spine from just looking at it, and Rarity was amazed that Diamond Tiara had an interest in such anime. By evening, the three decided to have some dinner in the park just around the corner to the convention hall. After finding a nice spot underneath a large oak tree, Diamond Tiara offered to set things up and look after their bags, whilst Rarity and Sweetie Belle went to a nearby fast food shop to pick up some dinner.
Today was so awesome,
Diamond Tiara said to herself as she flipped through a volume of Harmonical Gallade.
I bet tomorrow will be even better.
Hey! Diamond Tiara looked up from her book and looked side to side. She saw an orange filly approaching her. I remember you. Diamond Tiara, right? Diamond studied the approaching filly for a bit. No cutie mark? Red hair? Red cape with the Cutie Mark Crusader logo on it?
Oh no,
she said as she remembered who the filly was.
You're Apple Bloom's cousin, aren't you? Bad Seed?
Babs Seed, Babs corrected. What's with the costume? Diamond Tiara looked over herself and remembered that she was still in her magical filly cosplay.
What does it matter to you?
Babs laughed and approached Diamond Tiara.
So, the big, tough, rich kid is actually some soft little filly, huh? Go away,
Diamond shouted, getting up and glaring at Babs.
I wonder if that friend of yours knows about this.
Diamond made the mistake of flinching very noticeably.
So she doesn't. Well, I guess I know what I'm writing in my next letter to Apple Bloom then. No, you can't. What, it's okay for you to embarrass others, but the other way around isn't?
Babs moved even closer to Diamond Tiara, getting into her face.
Time to take a dose of your own medicine. Babs!
Babs and Diamond turned to see Sweetie Belle running towards them, an excited look on her face.
Wow, it's really you! How have you been?
Sweetie Belle asked as she jumped forward to tackle-hug Babs. Babs tried to pry Sweetie Belle off of her, but found it rather difficult. Sweetie Belle? You're here too?
Sure am,
Sweetie said, letting go and smiling widely at her friend.
Oh, you remember Diamond Tiara, don't you?
Babs nodded. I do, but why are you two together? Sweetie Belle looked over at Diamond Tiara, who was motioning for her to stay silent.
Well, it's none of your business,
Diamond shouted, pushing Babs as a way of telling her to move along.
Get your hooves off me,
Babs shouted, pushing Diamond back.
Girls,
Sweetie Belle said, getting in between them.
Please, don't fight.
Sweetie Belle, don't tell me you're actually sticking up for her, Babs said. Sweetie nodded.
You gotta be kidding me. After all she's done to you guys, Apple Bloom told me about how she's still giving you trouble. It's not like that anymore,
Sweetie Belle said.
We're friends now. She's not as mean as she used to be. Kinda.
Kinda? Diamond asked, raising her eyebrow.
Well, you still kinda have a bit of a temper,
Sweetie Belle said.
I what?
Diamond shouted, before composing herself and clearing her throat.
I what?
She said, much more quietly this time. Babs, we're leaving. Babs turned around and faced her parents in the distance. Coming, she shouted, before turning back to Sweetie Belle and Diamond Tiara. I don't know why you want to be friends with the likes of her, she said, pointing at Diamond Tiara, who simply glared in response. But whatever, you want to hang out with a bully? That's your own choice. Just don't come crying to me when she humiliates you for her own fun. As Babs Seed walked away and Sweetie Belle waved her goodbye to her, Diamond Tiara's mood sank back to the level it was at the previous day.
Silver Spoon's gonna find out for sure. Why did this have to happen? And things were going so well, too. Diamond? You okay?
Sweetie Belle asked, giving Diamond a concerned look.
Did you and Babs get into a fight just now?
Diamond Tiara looked up at Sweetie Belle and, before she knew what she was doing, reached out and wrapped her forelegs around the other filly. She didn't care if she was out where ponies could see her, or if she looked like a complete idiot. She just needed her friend right now. Chapter 6. Diamond Tiara likes confessing that she likes anime. Diamond Tiara groaned as she approached the school. She had gotten barely any sleep last night, and honestly didn't feel like going to school today, but she knew that she had no choice. Her father would never approve of her missing school unless she was ill, and although she was good at playing innocent, she was terrible at feigning illness.
Good morning, Diamond,
Sweetie Belle said, as Diamond Tiara passed by her on the street. Diamond turned to face her and waved a hoof weakly.
Morning. Oh my, Sweetie Belle said. You look awful. Didn't you sleep well last night? I didn't sleep at all, Diamond said groggily. I was up all night watching Pony Muyu and eating hay pocky.
Sweetie Belle giggled.
Yeah, I've been there. You get used to it. You've stayed up late watching anime before? Is that why you're always sleeping in class?
Sweetie Belle shook her head.
No, that just happens whenever I sit still for too long. Oh.
Diamond let out a loud yawn, and then stopped when the two reached the schoolyard.
Well, I guess you'll want to meet up with your fellow crusaders, she said, looking around nervously for a certain pony. Yeah, I guess so, Sweetie Belle said, watching Diamond looking around the schoolyard. Hey, are you okay? Diamond nodded, but didn't stop looking around. I'm fine. She noticed that Sweetie Belle hadn't left and turned to see the unicorn looking at her with concern on her face. Really, it's nothing. Go on and join your friends. Well, okay, if you say so. See ya! Sweetie Belle ran off into the schoolyard, leaving Diamond Tiara standing at the gate, still looking around for a certain pony. A hoof tapped Diamond's shoulder, causing her to shriek and spin around quickly. What? She shouted, only to find a startled Silver Spoon looking at her. Hi, Silver Spoon. Are you all right? Silver Spoon asked. Whoa, you have bags under your eyes. Rough night? Diamond Tiara yawned and then nodded. I guess you could say that. The school bell rang, signaling the start of the school day and telling all of the foals to get inside for their first lessons. After the first 2 lessons, the students were let out for a 15-minute break. During this time, Diamond Tiara dragged Silver Spoon around to an isolated area behind the school building, telling her that she had something very important that she needed to talk to her about. After checking to make sure that they were indeed alone, Diamond Tiara took a deep breath and gathered her courage. Silver Spoon, I need to tell you something. Something important. You're not going to confess your love to me, are you? Silver Spoon asked, surprising Diamond Tiara. No, of course I'm not. Not that there's anything to confess in the first place. Diamond Tiara was now red and very flustered. Why would you even suggest something like that? Silver Spoon shrugged nonchalantly. You drag me here where there's no pony else and tell me that you have something important to tell me. Just seemed like that kind of a setup. So, what's up?
Diamond Tiara calmed herself down and took another deep breath.
I like anime.
As soon as she said that, the entire world seemed to stop. Silver Spoon's expression was unreadable. Was she mad? Upset? Or was she okay with it? Maybe even delighted? Diamond just couldn't tell. Everything grew darker, and Diamond looked up to see that the sunlight was being obscured by the tall school building.
Anime,
Silver Spoon said, causing Diamond Tiara to turn her attention back to her.
You like anime?
Diamond Tiara nodded nervously, and Silver Spoon let out a disappointed sigh while shaking her head.
I hate anime.
Diamond Tiara felt her heart sink and took a step closer to Silver Spoon, only to find herself being pushed back by the other filly.
Silver Spoon? Why? Why?
Silver Spoon raised her head slowly, her eyes being obscured by the overcast shadow of her mane.
Because anime.
Silver Spoon's head raised completely, revealing her eyes. But rather than the purple eyes that Diamond Tiara was expecting, she instead saw two blood-red eyes with small black pupils and two tomo orbiting each pupil.
Killed my parents.
Silver Spoon's body was enveloped in a red aura, and Diamond Tiara took a few frightened steps back.
Diamond!
Diamond Tiara turned around to see Sweetie Belle standing at the distance. She threw something at Diamond Tiara, which the pink filly grabbed with her mouth. It was some kind of strange-looking pink key of some kind.
A keyblade?
Diamond thought to herself, before turning to face Silver Spoon, who was now 5 times bigger than before, and charging up a magical orb of fire in her mouth. Silver Spoon fired the ball, and Diamond Tiara nimbly dodged it. She wanted to fight back, but she couldn't yet. She needed to wait. It wasn't the right time to strike just yet.
Ding!
The ding that sounded told her that her ATB had charged up, so now she was free to use whatever attack she wished. She chose to use her limit break.
Dying Will T-Burner!
A bright flash of orange light in the shape of a tiara shot forth from her keyblade, engulfing Silver Spoon and causing the gray filly to roar in pain.
Diamond! Why?
Diamond Tiara let out a tear as she watched her friend turn to ash before her very eyes. She couldn't believe what she had just done, but she knew, deep down, it had to be done.
Forgive me, Silver Spoon,
Diamond Tiara said as she opened her eyes.
For what?
Asked Silver Spoon, who was sitting right next to Diamond Tiara, in the middle of class. Diamond Tiara took a moment to process where she was, and then quickly bolted up in her seat. Around her, the other foals in the class began to laugh out loud.
Are you well rested up now, Diamond Tiara?
Cheerily asked, walking up to Diamond Tiara's desk. Diamond simply nodded, her entire face red from the realization of what had just happened.
That's good. Then you'll have plenty of energy to sit through an extra 30 minutes after school.
Diamond moaned, but knew that protesting would only make things worse.
Yes, Miss Cheerily.
After school was out, and Diamond Tiara had served her 30 minutes detention for sleeping in class, the pink filly made her way out of the building to meet up with Silver Spoon, who had agreed to wait for her outside.
Hey there,
Silver said as Diamond approached her.
What'd you do? Just sit there? Or did she make you write lines? I had to listen to a lecture on the importance of paying attention in class. That doesn't sound so... And then she tested me on it.
Silver Spoon gave her a sympathetic look, but Diamond Tiara shrugged it off.
Anyway, thanks for waiting for me. NP, but what exactly did you want to talk to me about that's so important?
Diamond was about to answer, but Silver cut her off.
Is this about what Apple Bloom said about you and Sweetie Belle hanging out together in Manhattan?
Diamond Tiara bit her lower lip.
So, you heard about that,
Silver Spoon nodded.
and that's all?
Another nod. This one slower.
Are you free right now? I'd like you to come round to my place so I can explain there. Yeah, I'm free right now,
Silver Spoon said. Diamond Tiara paused for a second and then began leading the way back to her house.
First off,
Diamond Tiara said, stopping for a moment in the middle of the street.
is your family still alive?
To say Silver Spoon was confused would be an understatement.
Yeah,
She said.
you met them a few days ago, remember?
Diamond Tiara nodded, grinning sheepishly.
Just checking.
She said.
Okay, so this is reality this time, right?
The two rich fillies entered Filthy Rich's house and were quickly greeted by said house owner, who stopped Diamond Tiara for a moment to give her a package that had come for her earlier. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon stopped just outside of Diamond's room. Silver Spoon was waiting for her friend to open the door and invite her in, but something seemed to cause Diamond Tiara to hesitate.
Could you close your eyes, please?
Diamond asked, smiling nervously at Silver Spoon. Silver wasn't sure what to expect, but complied anyway, closing her eyes until Diamond told her to open them. She heard the door open and felt Diamond Tiara leading her forward by the hoof. Once they were inside, Diamond Tiara closed her bedroom door, placed her package on the bed, and took a deep breath.
Okay, you can open your eyes now.
Silver Spoon opened her eyes and was taken aback by what she saw. There was no way that this was Diamond Tiara's room. Not a chance. On the bed was a stack of books. No, not books. They were manga, Silver Spoon realized. The Legend of Celestia was written on all of the spines, with a different subtitle for each one. She looked over to Diamond Tiara's desk and saw a whole stack of DVDs. The World Faust Only Knows, Sombra May Cry, and Equestria Axis Powers were among a few of the titles that Silver Spoon could see. On Diamond Tiara's wall, where there used to be pictures of jewelry and cool cult bands, there was now a poster of an anime stallion with a tidy appearance holding an apple and with a black notebook behind him, and another poster of a group of ponies in sailor uniforms.
So, I guess you've probably figured it out by now,
Diamond Tiara said, after Silver Spoon hadn't said anything for a full minute.
This is certainly different than I last remember. Oh, good. No signs of danger yet,
Diamond thought to herself, a slight feeling of hope finding its way into her.
So, you like this kind of stuff?
Silver Spoon asked, walking over to a shelf that was lined up with a variety of plush toys. One was a white rabbit thing, Silver Spoon assumed. It had a red gem on its forehead. There was a black one with a blue gem sitting next to it.
I had no idea.
Diamond Tiara shuffled about on the spot nervously.
Does it make you angry?
Silver Spoon turned to Diamond Tiara and raised an eyebrow.
Angry? Why would I be angry? She's not angry,
Diamond thought to herself excitedly, a smile creeping its way onto her face.
Well, you're always going on about how lame anime is, and how it's ridiculous that Sweetie Belle likes it at her age.
Silver Spoon scratched the back of her head.
Oh, that.
She shifted about on the spot whilst keeping her attention on Diamond Tiara.
I was only trying to find new ways to tease her. You were?
Diamond asked. Silver Spoon nodded.
I hadn't really teased them in so long. I thought that something was up, that you were depressed or something. I'm not very good at talking to ponies about their problems, so I thought if I could find something new to tease them about, you'd feel better.
Diamond Tiara breathed a sigh of relief.
That's all it was?
Silver Spoon nodded.
Well, honestly, I don't like anime all that much.
Diamond's expression fell.
But I like you, so if it's important to you, I think I can look past it.
Diamond's face lit up, and she jumped forward to tackle hug, or glomp, as she'd seen it referred to as online, her friend. Silver Spoon yelped as she fell to the floor and struggled a bit to get Diamond Tiara off of her. Once Diamond backed away, and Silver Spoon had been given time to breathe, the gray filly looked over at the package on Diamond Tiara's bed.
So, what's that? More anime stuff?
She looked around the room, wondering where in Equestria Diamond would even fit more merchandise. She noticed the figure of a pony in a maid outfit, wearing cat ears, striking some strange pose, and raised her eyebrows at it.
I won't even ask.
Diamond Tiara picked up the package and shook her head.
I don't only collect anime stuff, you know.
She opened the package and pulled out 2 pony dolls, both with brushable manes and a few accessories to go with them.
They're the new dolls that are coming out next week. Daddy gets to purchase them early, remember?
Silver Spoon gasped excitedly at the sight of the 2 new dolls and leaned forward to examine them more closely.
Awesome! So, you still collect Little Pony friend dolls?
Diamond Tiara nodded.
Yeah, it's not like anime is replacing my previous interests. I still like dolls, and tea parties, and everything I liked before.
Diamond Tiara handed one of her new dolls to Silver Spoon to allow her to examine it more closely.
By the way, just out of curiosity, why exactly don't you like anime? Is it just not your thing?
Silver Spoon looked up at Diamond Tiara and then back down at the doll.
Not really. I haven't really tried any. It's just... I have my reasons. Just leave it at that.
Diamond Tiara frowned.
Well, how do you know if you didn't try it first?
Silver Spoon looked around at all of the anime-related things in Diamond's room, and then at Diamond Tiara herself. She had to admit to a certain curiosity about her friend's new interest, and also, she supposed it would be unfair to just dismiss it like that without giving it a proper chance.
Well, I guess I could watch an episode or 2.
After a full afternoon of non-stop anime, with Diamond Tiara making sure that Silver Spoon watched at least 2 episodes of each genre, Silver Spoon finally had to leave and go home.
So, what do you think?
Diamond Tiara asked enthusiastically, running a brush through one of her new doll's manes.
They were... alright. Well, some of them were,
Silver Spoon said, running a brush through the other new doll's mane.
I can't say it was bad, but I can't really see what the big appeal is.
Diamond pouted at Silver Spoon's reaction.
You obviously have no soul.
Silver Spoon rolled her eyes.
I wouldn't mind watching it with you now and again, but I just don't find it as interesting as you do. And I still have my reasons for not liking anime very much. What are those reasons anyway? It's personal.
Silver Spoon sighed as she opened the front door to her house.
I'm home,
she said, walking inside and placing her key in the bowl next to the door.
Gotcha now, demon!
A little brown colt shouted as he suddenly appeared from around the corner, wearing a green cloak and a pair of goggles around his neck. He charged at Silver Spoon, who attempted to run up the stairs to get away, but she was tackled before she could make it all the way up.
Get off of me!
She shouted. The colt ignored her and instead stood triumphantly over Silver Spoon's body.
Success! Another one of the princess's memory feathers has been found!
Silver Spoon sighed and rubbed her temple as the colt began hitting her with an inflatable sword.
This is why I hate anime.
The end. Well, that was one interesting story. Like I had said in the previous video, I enjoyed this story a lot more than I really wanted to in the first place, and the reason for that is quite simple. For those of you who don't know already, I hate Diamond Tiara with a burning passion. Everything about her I just loathe. And I apologize to everyone who likes Diamond Tiara, but that's just how I feel. I mean, I even hated her in Equestria Girls, and she didn't even have a speaking line in that movie. However, this story is one of those rare fics that has her as a main character that I actually enjoy. It's not every day that I find one that I actually like her in, so it's really saying something coming from me that I actually enjoyed this story a lot. Overall rating for this, I would definitely give it a 9 out of 10. It's just that good, especially coming from someone who doesn't like Diamond Tiara in the first place. So you can take that for what you will, I suppose. Well, it's happened again, ladies and gentlemen. You've wasted another perfectly good chunk of your life listening to me. I hope you have enjoyed this reading as much as I have, and I hope to do another one really soon. So, until next time, the one and only Dark Shadow here, signing off.